All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 4. This is going to be the last session for the mileage tracker app build out. Today, we have a couple things we're going to try to get through, reports, dashboards, homepage, and maybe one more flow to remove badges if we delete a mileage entry. Let's see if we can get that working. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we can get started. Introduction, I'm Brandon VanGalder. Like I said, today we're going to build out the mileage tracker app. One report only, one dashboard only, and then an app homepage where we can add some fun stuff to it. If we have time, I thought of the scenario a while ago. If someone puts in a mileage entry and they did it incorrectly for whatever reason, and then they're awarded a badge, but they didn't really earn it because they're going to delete that mileage entry. So their total miles is going to go down. How do we remove that badge automatically? So I kind of thought of that scenario. You can do it in a flow. I did build it out and got it working. So I can show you guys that if we have time. At the end, wrap up and surprise. I'll answer any of your questions you guys have and then give out the discount code as well at the end. So a little bit about me. I was a teacher for 12 years. I taught PE and health all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade. Mostly with the little kids though, in elementary school. I found out about Salesforce in March 2019, got certified 16 months later, and then I landed my first Salesforce role a year after that, mostly because I wasn't looking the hardest at that time. That's why it took a year to find a Salesforce role, and I was still teaching at the time. Since then, I have earned 5 more certifications over the past almost a year. So I keep learning just like you guys do. Let's talk a little bit about saasguru. saasguru helps supercharge your Salesforce certification, and I used it for my Service Cloud certification most recently. And then I did a couple Marketing Cloud certifications, which they don't have courses on. But I'm going to use it on my Sales Cloud certification soon and my Experience Cloud certification soon. Those are the ones I have kind of next in line. But what it does is you take a practice test at the beginning and it kind of gives you your baseline. It gives you this little certification readiness score. And it kind of breaks down each segment of the exam. How did you score on those questions? So it shows your strengths and weaknesses. The lessons are summarized. They're short, like micro lessons, short videos, or just read through lessons. And then they also have links to related like Trailhead content and stuff like that. So it's laid out very nicely to help you succeed. It is also gamified. You can earn badges as you progress, and it can send you reminders, and there's challenges at the global level when they do their hackathons. It's pretty fun. Here is their Slack community. And wow, so here we go. 12,000 people in the general channel. So there's 12,000 people. That's learners and gurus there to help you. And in that Slack channel, there's always someone there to help you. Okay, no matter where you are around the world. Let's see, there's content on their blog that they update, okay, like weekly or so. There's live classes. And if you log into your dashboard now, there is a link on the left side here that says live classes. And you can find all the recordings of my classes, all the other webinars that they've done, just by clicking that link over here. There's also mentoring available where you can get one-on-one calls with one of the gurus. They have projects kind of like what we're building out, and the ultimate goal is to get you that career in Salesforce. All right, and like we said, saasguru helps supercharge your Salesforce certification, and it's supposed to go side by side with Trailhead. You could do Trailhead by itself and probably pass your certification, but I tried that and it didn't work. I wasn't ready for the exam just using Trailhead, so I had to use supplemental material like saasguru. Again, it sets your benchmark, personalizes your training. The revised part is actually in all the different certifications. There's usually 200 plus just flashcards for different vocabulary or concepts for that specific cert, which is really helpful. I'm a big flashcard person, so I use that a lot. There's practice as well built in. Again, could be linked with Trailhead or not. And then the mentorship is there as well. And ultimate goal certification. That's why we're all here, right? To learn, get certified, and land that role. All right. I think the best part of this is the community, with especially the Slack community. I'm in there every day. I have it turned on my computer all the time. So every time I'm on my computer, I'm periodically checking Slack there to help people. Certification vouchers, that's if you participate in the hackathon, you can win a certification voucher. But all it is you take the practice test, you see how you rank up against other people in the world. You don't have to be first to win the certification voucher, you just have to participate. There's product tips and updates on their blog, these wonderful live classes and webinars like we're doing right now. And like I said, 24/7 help from the gurus, because there's gurus all over the world. All right. So I am actually going to get in. This is my original mileage tracker app here. And what we're going to do first is you can see this nice homepage we have here, because you guys don't have this right here. You don't have just the regular page when you go to the app. You just have the different tabs for all the things, okay, we've made in the past. So our ultimate goal is to build this page, and I have a dashboard here, and then I have a couple related lists, and I have a screen flow. That's my homepage, but we got to build that to start. So we're actually going to start with reports. So if we go to reports, and we are basically going to build one of these runners with mile entries of reports. I'm just going to build a new one. This is very slow. There we go. All right. Click all. And then when we set up our object, we should have set it up that it allowed reports for runners object and mile entry objects and our other ones as well. So you should see a list here, and we're going to do runners with mile entries. And you can see this is my original one that I built a while back. I checked it a couple of days ago. That's why the date's updated. And I'm going to hit start. All right. So what I'm going to use this report for is basically a leaderboard kind of chart, how many miles each runner has, essentially. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to group by runner. And then I don't really care about the mile entry name, because it's just like an auto number. So I'm actually going to remove that. And I'm going to go miles run. So we want total miles for our runner object. So you can see Akshay has 13 total miles, and these are some other people I had in here, actually family members that all have zeros. And then you can see I have a test one that's actually live right now with 10, and then me at 2. So I want total miles and runner name, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to turn off subtotals there. I'm going to add a chart, because all I'm doing right now is making that leaderboard, and I want to see a bar graph. You could do it sideways like this, but I'm going to change it to a column so we can see everybody. And because I have all these blank people on here that have 0, I don't want to know who has 0. So I'm going to filter total miles greater than 0. You guys probably don't have to do that because you probably don't have a bunch of like empty people from previous. But you could, if you want to see that nobody has 0, you can do that. If you were doing a real challenge, maybe you would want to keep it so you can see people who did have 0. So I'm just going to hit save and run. And I'm going to change my name to just leave it the same, but this is my second version of this report. So I'm going to save that. And I want to put it in public just so other people doing this mileage tracking could see this report. If I did it private, no one would be able to see it. So I like to do that. So I should have my really simple chart, and now that I have this report built out. All right, so there's a couple different ways we can kind of arrange this chart. You can see it goes Akshay has the most, and then I have the least, and then there you can change the order on your chart. If you, I think I have to do it in the edit screen, but I could do it from most miles to least miles going down. I can do it alphabetical order. It's kind of up to you how you want to adjust that, but this is actually good. This is good enough for now. I have my report, I have my chart, and now I can add it to a dashboard. So let's click dashboard. And this is my original one, but I'm going to create a new one for us. I'm just going to name it MT dashboard, just so it has a different name. MT dash. I'm going to move it to the public folder as well, if I can. There we go. I just want it visible to everybody. I don't want to limit it just to me. All right, so you have it named. It should be here where we can add components to the screen. And if we actually, okay. I'm going to click add component. And then what it's doing here, you have to pick the report for which you want the component to get its data from. So this is the one I just made. Again, you guys probably only have one report here, maybe a couple, but only one runner one at least. I'm going to hit select on that. So a couple settings here that I want to talk about. My favorite thing is this checkbox. Use the chart settings from my report. I already built that report. This looks exactly like the chart that was on the report. So I'm just going to leave this one here. I don't need to worry about any of this other stuff because it's already what I want. A couple of things you can change though. I could have up to 100 runners on here, and then their bars would get pretty skinny, showing their their miles, or if you wanted to do like a top 10 chart and you only showed the top 10 people, or maybe top 5. Okay, it's kind of up to you. I'm going to leave it at 100 because who knows, maybe 100 people will join our running challenge. You can leave it on a light setting or a dark setting. All the dark does is put like a black kind of outline around it. I'm just going to leave it at light and click add. All right, so now it automatically comes in at a certain size. I actually want it to be a bit bigger. I'm going to go a bit bigger, and it's kind of up to you where you want it. I'm going to go there. All right, so that's good for our first component. And I'm going to open back up my home page just to see what the other components were. So I have this mileage tracker leaderboard here. That's what we already put on our screen. And now I kind of want to see how many entries does each person have. Okay, so we're going to create this component in a second. And we can actually go back to our dashboard and change the name of that. So see how it shows the name of the report there? I'm actually going to change that. I'm going to change it to mile tracker leaderboard once it deletes. Oops. Oh, there we go. The title down here. So you can customize the title that'll show up at the top here. And you can add a subtitle if you'd want, a footer if you want, but I'm just going to do title, click update, and you can see it changed up here. All right, so we have our miles shown. Now we're going to do mile entries. How many does each person have? And the good thing is we can use the same report. Okay. And so the first chart used sum of total miles. So it counted up how many miles did each person run. And this one we're actually going to do record count. We're not counting runners, we're counting how many mileage entries they have. Okay, so I don't think it's just 111. I think there's a couple different numbers, but we will see. I'm going to leave this at shortened numbers, automatic range. So it'll be kind of dynamic. And I'm going to change the title to mile entries. So it's telling me how many mile entries does each person have. I'm going to click add. It kind of by default puts it on the left-hand side of the page. So you'll probably have to drag it over. And I'm going to move it up top right. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. So each of my runners has 1 mile entry. I think I know what's wrong here. Because that doesn't look right, but I'm going to hit component one more time. And the last component I'm going to add is here, the total group miles. So everybody combined, how many miles do we have? And you can see we have 50 as a group. Okay. So let's get this component added. I'm going to use the exact same report. Okay. And this one was a gauge component. And recently they came out with this dynamic chart where you can change, or the gauge itself changes as things on your report change, but I'm going to leave it at standard. And I'm just going to leave it at 100 for now, because the whole challenge originally when I set this out was each person was going to do 100 miles in 1 month of May. But this is going to be a group chart, but I'm still going to say total miles. All right. And I think I know the problem for this too. I'm going to create it, even though I have this error. I think we have to go back to our chart. And I'm going to hit save, or our report. Oh, no, there we go. It showed up. 10 plus 13 plus 2. Perfect. It did work. All right. So I have my 3 components. Again, if I wanted to stretch this out so it's even, I could stretch this down. Then it fills up a whole page. I'm going to hit save right there. All right, so all my edits have been saved. Click done, and this is the actual page. And to me, it's a little bit big. So when I do put it on this home page, it's kind of taking up too much space. So I'm going to squeeze it down just a bit. Make everything a little bit smaller. So I'm going to move this down to, I'm going to make this smaller by 2. And then I'm going to make this match that. All right, so that kind of takes up a full screen. And when it's added to my home page, it'll be about the same size right there. So I'll hit save again. Done. Refresh. Okay, it already refreshed. All right. So I think this is not displaying right, and I think I know why. Because if I look at my other one, it should show 2. Each person has 2 entries right now, not 1. Let's try refreshing. Sometimes that's the issue. Nope. All right. So I think I know what it is. So what I actually have to do is go to the report and I do want the all right, let's click edit. I do need more than just the total miles. Because I need to get the count of how many mile entries for each runner. So I'm going to add a column. And if I actually scroll down to here, I'm going to say, I am going to add this mile entry, mile tracker name. Because then I'll see Akshay has 2 entries, Brandon has 1, and then my test runner also has 2. So if I click run on, if I save and run, that'll give me another option. You can see now total records is 5. That's good. That's what I want to see. Now, if I do go back to that dashboard, I can change that chart up a little bit. So it does show how many mileage entries. Yeah, sometimes when you load it, it says there's no data, but it's just thinking, there we go. So I did need those mile entries on there. So now it counts Akshay 2, Brandon 1, test 1. So that looks good. This looks good. The leaderboard looks good. All right, so we have our report. We have our dashboard. We're going to add to our home screen. Now let's build a home screen. So if you go to setup, and let's search Lightning app. believe. All right, perfect. So here's all the different pages we have, Lightning app pages, and you can see this one is my mileage tracker homepage that I already have built out, but we're basically going to copy that one. I'm actually going to create a new one, and so should you. All right. So I think I lied. I think I said it was a home page, but it's actually an app page that I built. But there's not a ton of difference between those. So because it said app page on the other one, I'm going to just click app page again. Let's see, home page. Again, home page would be very, very similar, but I'm going to click app page. Record page would be like, if you click into opportunities, what do you want that page to look like? Or runner, what do you want the runner page to look like? Things like that. Okay. But we want an app page. So let's click next. And we're going to call it, I'm going to say just empty page. I did originally call it mileage tracker. You can call it whatever you want. And then it's kind of up to you what you want this to look like. I did one region and I just threw everything onto one space because my dashboard took up the whole page across from right to left. I didn't have a little sidebar off to the side. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to. It's kind of up to you. Like we could put our dashboard here. We could add our screen flow here. And then we could add related lists here or something like that. But I'm just going to show you what I did. One region to rule them all. But again, personal preference, and you can go back and I believe you can change that if you want to. All right, so we have a blank screen here. We have to add our components. What we're going to do first is grab a dashboard, drag it in. And it already put my MT dashboard in here, and it probably filled that same one in for you. But if you had different ones, this is my old one. These are some things already built in to my dev org. But whatever dashboard you just built, that's the one you want to select. You can change the height here. I just kind of leave it where it is because we already got the height we wanted. I don't want to add any visibility filters. I want everyone to see this. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it right there. All right. So what else did we add though? In my other one, I had flows, screen flows here. Okay. Actually, how did I get that? You know what? I think I'm wrong. I must have had this must be the header area. And then I had a side-by-side components when I built that. So we can do this. This is fine. And then I can show you, we can change it up, make a second one if we want. All right. So we want I think it was a list view. Okay. So what was added? Let's take a look. Okay, I added mile entries. I wanted to see who put mileage entries in here. And I think I have it limited to show the last 3. And then I wanted to see which badges were awarded recently on my homepage, basically. So if we go back to the component, this is where you limit how many you can see. I can add it up to 5, however many you want, really. But I didn't want runners. I didn't want to see runners on here. I wanted to see like mileage entries. Okay, the recent ones that happened. Again, you can change your number here. You can allow people to inline edit. Like if I wanted to go in here and change the number of miles run, you can do that. I'm actually going to take that away because I don't want people editing the miles they ran here or anyone else's mileage they ran. I don't really need a search bar here. The action bar, it's kind of up to you. Do I want people to be able to create new mileage entries from right there? Yes, no. I'm not going to really import any. And then printable view, I don't think it's necessary to have all that stuff, so you can take that away. So I have a mileage entries one, and then I also had the awarded badges. So if I change up here, awarded badge, who has earned a badge recently? Again, I'm going to take away that. I don't need anyone editing. I'm going to hide the action bar and hide the search bar. I mean, it's personal preference on those. It's kind of up to you. All right. So the last thing I added, which I think in this layout isn't the greatest, is my screen flow. I'm going to drag that to the bottom, and it's not really going to fit this page the greatest. But when you add a flow to a Lightning page, first thing you need to do is choose the flow you want. So the flow I had is new entry. I'm not sure if that's what we called it when we built it out recently, but the one where you enter in the mileage for a certain runner and pick the date. So have that selected. One column. Let's see, can I do that? 2 columns. Okay, don't really need that. All right, I'm going to click save. All right. Since it's a new page, and even when you build out yours, you should have the same screen. You have to activate it, right? So where do we want this page to show up? We can leave that stuff. I don't like the icon. I put it as a heart because running is good for your heart. I'm going to allow it for all users. I'm going to leave that the same. And then which apps do I want this page to be on? And I don't need anything else except my mileage tracker. Okay, and I'm going to add page to app. Okay, now this is the order of my tabs. I already have my original homepage here. So I can remove that if I wanted to. I'm just going to leave it there. And then I have all my other tabs. Okay, so as long as you have it selected, you see it here. Do I want to move it up, down? I just have it first because that kind of makes the most sense for me. So I'll actually move it in front of my other one for now. Mobile navigation, I actually put this on the app as well, but I think we can skip that for now. That's not a big deal. So activate that page, takes a second. So activation successful. If I go back, I'll be in setup here. But if I go back to my mileage tracker app and do a refresh, I should see I have 2 app pages over here. Not quite yet. It's here. It's just out of order. So it did not go in the order I wanted. And if you didn't know this, you could just drag these tabs around to change the order of them. So this is my new one, the empty page. Looks very similar. Okay, you can see my mileage entries, awarded badges, and then the screen flow. And this screen flow taking up the whole page across does not look great. So I think that's bad, like UI in my opinion. So if you notice the difference on this page, I had my dashboard up top and then entries on one side and then smaller lists on this side. So I'm actually going to take a look at this page and see what the layout kind of is on this one. So if you guys want to change that, you might have to make a new one. You can kind of take a peek, but this is all just customization that you want to kind of decide, how do you want it to look? Okay, I think I did choose I want to say I actually threw the dashboard in the header component. And that's the layout that I chose. Let's see if I can. Or one component on top and then split view at the bottom. So that's what I did originally. It's kind of up to you guys if you want to change that. All right, so we have that built out. Let's see, the last thing, which we do have some time for. All right, I'm going to show you guys this. I don't think we have time to build it out completely. I'll show you guys that a little bit later. All right, a couple things I wanted to show you. If you go to your runner page, and your guys is going to look quite a bit different than mine, because I did customize this. All right, I know we added the progress bar to our page. You click setup and then edit page. You can see I added a report chart there to my runners page. I kind of want to show you guys that because that is a pretty cool feature that you can do. Let's see. All right. So this over here, it is just a report chart, and I'm actually going to drag another one over just to show you guys how this works. So if you scroll over here and grab a report chart and just drag it over, I'll put it right underneath. First thing you got to do is pick the report, and ours was runners. You guys will probably have this one. I'm going to grab my second one here. And if you look, you'll notice, oh, why does this one have only one person and this one has everybody on the list? You can use the filter by component and it should pop up runner ID. So when I click this, it'll only show the runner of the page I'm on. Okay, and it's showing how many total miles I have, because that's what my chart on that specific report shows. So that's a pretty cool feature. If you have a report that shows something for everyone, if you drag it onto a specific record, you can kind of filter it down by just that specific record, which is a really cool feature. All right, so I'm going to delete that one. You guys want to save it if you're adding that to your page. And I'm going to leave. All right. Quickly wanted to show you that. And close that stuff out. All right. Our last flow. All right, so I built this out and I'm going to show you guys this really quick. So what if a runner accidentally puts too many miles on their mileage entry and they get awarded a badge that they don't need? Okay, what if that happens? So let's hear. I'm going to do a mileage entry really quick for myself today, and I'm going to say, ooh, 25. So I should get awarded a couple badges. I got the 10 and I should have the 25 in there somewhere, but it didn't work for some reason. All right, but oops, that's too many. I have to delete this entry. And if I don't build this flow, those awarded badges will still be there. Okay. So I want to be able to delete this, and then the badges I don't have anymore should be taken away. So let's go to flows. All right. So you're going to want to choose a new flow, record triggered flow. Okay. And then click create. I'm going to show you from here. Is that it actually? All right. So you guys should have a whole blank screen here. But let me show you what. We are going to run it on. You're going to want to set it up on the runner object. And I was having issues with this over here and some of the other things later. So I just did it on created and updated. It's never gonna fire on created. Or it shouldn't have to, but this is how I got it to work. So created and updated, and you're actually gonna delete related records. So you have to choose this actions and related records. I did no entry criteria because I have a decision a little bit later in the flow that kind of acts as criteria to either delete it or not. So that's how you should set up this part to start the flow. All right. You're going to click the plus button and then do a get element. And the first thing you're going to do is get all the related badges. Okay. Oh, shoot. There's one more thing we need to add. All right. Real quick, save your flow. Save it, give it a name real quick. Delete invalid badges. We need to add one more field onto our awarded badges object. I forgot about this part. So we're actually going to add a milestone field on the awarded badge. So save it real fast. Navigate over to awarded badge. And we're going to add a new field. And I already have it here, but I'll show you how to build it too. I'm going to build a second one for you guys. Let's see. Perfect. All right. So we're going to click new. And it's actually a formula field. All we're doing is looking up to the badge that is on this. we're going to look up to the badge and use the same milestone from that badge. And it's actually just going to be a number field. Okay. We can leave 2 decimal points. That's fine. Our badges only go to 1 decimal point, but we can leave it at 2 if necessary. Because maybe in the future we do have different ones. All right. And then our formula, like I said, we're just going to look at the badge that is part of this awarded badge record. And we're going to copy that milestone. Okay. So we're just going to click badge and then milestone and then insert, and that's it. Click check syntax. We're good. Click next. Next. Save. All right. Apologies about that. Delete that. All right, so you're gonna have to probably reload this. So it reads that that new field is in here. All right, let's see if we can finish this in 8 minutes. So reopen your flow. Okay. You're going to click the plus. Do a get records. And in the get records, we're going to get the awarded badges. Okay. The conditions for the badges we're grabbing are, does the runner field equal, okay, the record ID? And I'll show you where that, the $, because this is coming from, do $, record, because the triggering object is runner. And then we're going to just do ID. So we want the only badges that were awarded to this runner. And we only want the awarded badges that are higher in milestone than our total miles. Okay, does that make sense? So let's say we did the 10-mile badge, or we got awarded the 10-mile badge, but then I deleted a mileage entry and now I only have 5 miles, right? So I want that 10-mile badge with the milestone of 10. I want to grab that one because it's greater than my total miles that I currently have, which is 5. Okay. And ID is null, is false. And this kind of helps with, just in case they don't get any records. So we just want the ID of our record, our mileage entry. And I don't know if this is necessary, but I added it in here and it worked. So I'm going to set it to is null, is false. So we just basically want an actual record. There could potentially be more than one awarded badge that's above our total miles. So we want to do all the records, and then you can just automatically store all the fields. It's just a little easier that way. I don't have to set variables or anything like that. And then click done. All right, so we are getting all the related awarded badges, and then you're going to click plus and do a decision. So go plus, decision. All right, and then in your decision, I labeled it mileage drops past milestone. Okay. And how do we know that? if it dropped past a milestone, we will have some awarded badges in our collection. Okay, we'll have at least one. Okay. And if we have one, it's not null. Okay. So one is null, false. Okay, that's or more. That's essentially what that's saying. Okay. And we want our total miles currently less than the prior total miles. So we need actually a drop in miles and to have crossed a milestone. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. All right, and then I have it here if condition requirements are met. You could probably do it both. I bet this would work as well. But just leave it there. It's working for me. It'd be worth testing out. All right. So on our decision, you should have two sides. Go to the default outcome side. And you'll have to scroll down to like the stop sign. It's not going to show on mine because I already have the stop sign there. And just click end on the default outcome side. So that'll stop the flow and it won't do anything. And that'll kind of break up the lines here. On the other side, we are going to delete the badges above the total miles. So we have our collection of badges above the total miles, and now we're basically going to delete them. So you're going to click plus, scroll to delete. It should be one of the very bottom ones. Click delete records. And what are we going to do? Okay, because we have a whole collection variable and it has the IDs in there, we just leave it on this setting. Use the IDs stored in record variable or collection variable. And when you click here, you should see the record collection variables of our first get element sitting right here. Okay. And then you just click done. So anything we gathered here is going to get deleted if we go down this path. All right. And then if you guys remember, the last thing we need to do is update the checkbox for our awarded badge. Okay. Every time we gave a badge out, we checked a box for that like milestone distance and had to, so then it can get re-awarded when they actually do earn it. So you're going to click plus and you're going to click update triggering record. So we're updating something on this runner record that triggered it. Okay. All right, this is where it gets tricky. We're using the runner record that triggered the flow. And then we had a couple different fields. I only did 2 of the fields, but we would have to do this for every single one. Okay. Let's start with the 5K badge awarded. All right. So your field should be named something similar to that. It might be a little bit different. And then what is the value we're going to put there? And it's actually a new variable. I'm going to build a new one. I'm going to do the next one. So you guys can follow along on this. And All right. So you're building the 5K one. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's okay. But what you're going to do when you click over here, you're going to click new resource. And we're actually making a formula. Okay. And how do I know it's a formula that I want? Because I'm going to use an if statement. If this, then that. And I'm going to name this FX. And you guys are going to want to name it 5K uncheck or 5K badge or something like that. Okay. Data type, because it's a checkbox field, we're going to select Boolean, and it's just going to be like true or false, yes or no. Okay. And the formula we are going to use is if our total miles for our runner, so we can actually grab that from here, $, current record, total miles. If our total miles, and we're going to do less than, if total miles is less than, this is our 5K, 3.1. Okay, if it's less than 3.1, we want to uncheck the box. Okay, and to do that, you type false. What is going on? Okay, if it's less than 3.1, uncheck the box. So then when we pass 3.1 again, we get a new badge. Okay, what if it's above 3.1 still? Type in true. We'll keep it checked. It should be checked already, but we're going to keep it checked. And that is our formula. So you guys are going to leave this exactly the way it is, what you see on the screen. I'm going to change it because I already have those two. So this is my 25 badge. So you can see, to do the 25 badge, I only have to change the name and then the mileage. The total miles is less than. Okay. So you want these to line up, and that's what I was saying was wrong. You can see 25 and 25 checkbox field. These ones got swapped. So I actually have to switch these. All right. So if you guys have one of these built out, it's easy to build out the rest of them. So the 10 mile, you just change the mileage to 10 in the formula and change the name of the variable. Okay, so we would have a 5K, 10, 25, 50, 100, right? So we're technically updating all of those every single time because we don't know which ones we've hit, which milestones we've passed and which ones we haven't. So we're actually updating it every single time. So that is it. And we can test that just at the 5K level. Since you guys only have one of these, you will end up with 5 of them if you build it out fully. So click save as, and then activate your flow. I'm just going to save as with you guys. Hopefully you have it named. Name something you can remember. Delete invalid awarded badges. I'm going to save. Activate. And then if I go to my runner, and I'm actually going to create a new runner just to test this out. Test 2. Don't worry about any of these other fields. Here's my new runner. All right. And in my details, I have these visible just so we can see what happens. And you guys don't actually have that. I'm going to say I ran 5 miles. Okay, you can see it got checked. I have 5 total miles. Okay. I should have gotten a badge. Boom. I have it. Now, when I delete this, okay. Oh, I still have the badge. Yes, it's still there. It still says 5, still checked. I just need to do a refresh on this. And when I refresh, should be 0 miles. Checkbox is unchecked. And the awarded badge is deleted. Okay. So that is working as expected. All right, that is all I have for you guys.